All right.
Yeah, let me send it to somebody. Give me one
Preston's calling me. Yo,
what up, big dog?
What's up? We're on stream, so I didn't know.
Are y'all already started?
Well, I just clicked live. I literally just clicked live like 10 seconds ago when you.
Son of a bitch! I didn't even wait on me.
Yeah, we can wait. We didn't know if you were coming. Ain't nobody responded.
Yeah,
we can wait.
I'm still at work, and I got a couple tables here.
All right.
How
long are you gonna be?
Well, they're still here, but they're starting to get up now, so I can get on stream.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like 30 minutes, if you're later, I mean, it's no big deal. You can just jump in later. But, I mean, we're just on stream. I mean, we can wait like 10 minutes or something before we start.
Can y'all do the NFL first?
We already
did it yesterday.
Yeah, we did that yesterday. I mean, we could wait like
Damn it, guys.
we could wait like 10, 15 minutes.
If you can wait 10 minutes, that'll help me out a lot.
God damn.
We can wait 10 minutes.
Okay, if I'm not
Bryson, calm down. Bryson's mad because he's got to go to work tomorrow and say, whatever the fuck his company is, hey, thank you for calling. Can I take your order? Whatever the hell he answers and says. Anyway, no. That sounds good. We'll wait like 10 minutes. But 10 minutes, we're about 9:15. We're starting.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Bye. All right, Brown. So we can conversate for a minute while we're waiting. My first call was Pikachu.
Pat got a GoPro.
Did he really? He just went ahead and bought one?
No, he found one.
Okay. I've never even used one, so I don't even know how they work. But he didn't buy it. He found it. What does that mean?
Braden had one.
Oh, okay. Wonder if it's any good. We'll have to see. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to do nothing this weekend, but I know next weekend I should be able to. If I do it this weekend, it'll have to be like, I don't know, maybe, but I got to finish my project. It just depends how far along I am on my project. It just all depends. Why were y'all planning on going this weekend?
I don't know.
We'll see. I might can, just depending on how far I am along.
You didn't like my comment I said last night?
What'd you say? Oh, you talking about the Lions? Yeah, I put it.
No, Deshaun Taylor.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Damn.
It didn't pop up. It never did pop up because I kept the comments up.
I said, how about that sorry-ass tribute they did for Sean Taylor, the damn rebar man?
Oh, you talking about the
memorial?
Yeah. What am I thinking of? Never mind. I was thinking. I know what you're talking about, but I was thinking. I was about to say something, but I can't remember. Yeah. You would think they would do something different, but what did I put the title as here?
I'm gonna send it to a buddy of mine.
All right. Try to go live for some games here shortly too. I might go if I have time. I might go live this weekend for football, and then we'll go live for some bowl games maybe again like we did last time.
Hey, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. What'd you say?
Okay. No, I'll just see if you hear me.
Yeah, but we. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. No,
You know,
but
over 1,200 players have entered the transfer portal the first day.
sure it's something like that.
That's wild. I agree with it. And I don't.
What does it say at C&B Sports? For some reason, I don't know if they updated YouTube or something, but our name, like it says C&B Sports, but below it, it says at C&B Sports 6124.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know how to change that. I'll have to change that here shortly.
Like I agree with it, and I don't like. The reason I do agree with it is like show players that's not getting enough playing times and then minutes or whatever. You know, they actually get to actually play, but it can hurt them and improve. And it could just be a flaw. And I don't like it because it's like the damn NFL. You know, testing free water is like free agency. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of on the same side. I like it, but I don't like it. Sucks for coaches and stuff, but whatever.
Yeah.
Schools.
Dude, my heart dropped. I was at work and that notification popped up and it said Florida. And it was a Florida logo and it said quarterback. And the only thing I saw was DJ. I said no way. I said please. I said
hold on, time out. Did you see what I said earlier about people in the comments?
yeah. He needs to go get his CDL. Sorry ass. So
So where's the DJ go
notification-
next? Transfer next? He said needs to get a CDL. That shit was funny. I'm sorry.
The notification it said Florida said, "I'll just look at it real quick," and it had quarterback DJ. Okay, I didn't. At first glance, I was like, "This son of a bitch is coming to us, dude." Nope, we got a 2024 recruit, 4-star, committed to us, DJ Langway. Yeah, I was
I
like,
don't know who that is.
he's
He's
a
high
12.
school. Oh, high
He's
schooler.
yeah,
Okay.
he's a number.
I don't know where I
He's
was
gonna be the
thinking.
12th prospect in like that class, number 12 in the country coming in that 2024 class. And I was like, oh my God. I saw that. I just saw a DJ. I was like, yeah, well, boys, they are again. Here we go. Even worse.
Gotcha. If you do join in the chat, we're about to record for our podcast. I know no one's here probably, but if someone does join, we are about to record for our college football podcast, and we are live for it. So if you comment below, we'll answer questions. No, we'll have to pick a day and see what games we want to go live for or something. I'm telling you, I'm eventually what I'm gonna do. I'm telling you, we're gonna start going live for games. What we're gonna do is I gotta figure out how to do it. But I think it'd be cool, like a betting system, like on the game. I'm gonna figure out how to do it. Do like where we can bet or during the game, or show our prize picks or something. Like
Yeah.
we do our prize picks before the game and show them on the screen or something like that. Something to do with betting to make it interesting while we're watching the game and have it. I got to figure it out, but I want to do something like that. I think it'd be badass.
You know what they need to make? And it would make so much money. If I had the money, I would do it. You got NFL Red Zone. How about college Red Zone?
Yeah. That's a lot of fucking games, though. Like, how would you know where to go?
I mean, like
I guess not. I guess
your
not
top
really.
game.
I guess not really.
You ain't gotta do every damn fucking Lakeside versus Harlem. I mean, no, they just damn do your Power 5 schools, you know. And if it's like a little small game that's cutting it close, you know, fourth quarter, and then switch it over.
They probably could now. I heard they were doing like some type of golf, like not red zone, but like cut line or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
you know where they got that from? Live, because Live does that.
well, no, I think they were doing it before. They were doing it beforehand because I think they got it from the red zone thing.
Live's pretty cool because it'll like cut the screen like in half.
They were talking about doing it before the live thing.
It's pretty cool watching that because it'll cut the screen like how we are right now in half. Had like 2 golfers, and then sometimes it will cut the screen in 4, and it shows each player like on that team where they're at. It's pretty badass.
I gotcha. Well, I'm giving until 9:15.
Time is it?
9:12. He'll hop on, but he just ain't gonna be here for the
Yeah.
start of it, which is cool. That was me that texted. I was just
I got that conversation on mute. I got all my group chats on mute.
I usually do too. No one, we don't really talk too much now, so put it on mute. I put it on mute people that message all the time.
How about
We got a bunch of people like that golf chat. I don't ever see nothing of that because I got that thing muted. Even though we don't ever talk about it when you do.
a dog from across the street came over and I got in the car and was like excited to see me or whatever. And I was like, my dad was in the backyard working and Bush was back there. So I brought the dog to the backyard to see what Bush would do.
Oh God!
I'll tell you what, Michael Vick would be proud. That's all I got to say. I mean, he was like going ape shit.
I mean, when they never did like get each other.
No. There was a fence.
Oh, okay.
Some bitch was getting pissed.
I wonder if he's mad. Would he mad if you like went down and pet him and stuff?
No, I don't know. He's just who knows, crazy.
No, I wonder if he'd be like jealous or pissed, like if you're over there petting him.
Well,
and shit.
Chris Brown made a good point. I think when I'm around, he thinks he's got to protect because like when I'm not around, he's fine. But like when I'm around, he gets pissed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna send him one more invite. Make sure he's got it, so I don't have to do it again because he's probably gonna say he ain't got it, and then we'll go from there.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to C&BSports. I'm Bryson. We got Chris with me, and today we're going to talk about transfer portal, bowl games, and player of the week.
Good job.
Josh is not here with us, but congratulations on being the 2-time regular season pick'em champ.
You got to come with like a louder if you want to do the intro, you got to come with like a.
All right, I will. You ready to do it?
Not too loud, not like yell, but go ahead.
I ain't going to scream.
You ain't got to do about the transfer. I don't even know if I wrote anything about
loud
about transfer. Just go for it. Go.
You ready?
Yeah.
Talk one more time.
I'm here. Yep.
Okay, I can hear you. All right, ready?
Yep.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to C&BSports. I'm Bryson. Got Chris with me. Josh is not here at the moment. Preston will be joining shortly. Huge shout out, first of all, to Josh being the back-to-back regular season pickle champion. You know, he's not here, but hey, hats off to you. Chris?
Yeah, Bryson. Well, I mean, what happened to you, man? You started off so strong.
Started off hard. I mean, hell, first week I think I went like 8-2 or something like that. And it's just I was riding that wave all season. But hey, came in second.
Hey,
you and Preston tied for last.
Didn't come in last.
You know, but
tied
you
for last.
There we go. Third place, baby.
Hey, no, yeah, I get third place because I did not go 0-8 1 week, so that puts him dead last.
Yeah, that automatically puts Preston last place. I mean, an offer is just wow. You know.
Yeah, if you go 0-8 and pick'ems, you suck. You should not pick again.
But I mean, what a crazy week of football. You know, had a lot of great games. Transfer portal's now opening up. I mean, I was telling Chris earlier, 1,200 players went into the first day in the portal. I mean, that's just insane. You know, I think Deion has a lot to do with it. All these Alabama players, I don't know if you saw that or not, trying to go to Colorado. Us Gators, we had 27 people. 27. Either going to the draft or going to the transfer portal. I mean, good God, that is a chunk of a team right there.
What's your thoughts on Deion going to Colorado? 1-10.
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna tell you why. It'd be your own people that hate you. Okay. He brought Jackson State on the map. Nobody used to go to those games. Nobody knew who the hell they were or where they were located at. He put them on the map. Okay. He got offered, a good job. I mean, he's getting paid right now, and people also don't look at it. It helps out his son. You know, his son's going with him over to Colorado. You know, these NFL people, they're not going to look at these HBCUs, the little JUCO schools. You know, and he'll come to Colorado being a D1 school. I think that's going to break his name up a little bit more.
Yeah, and people, I mean, from what I read, I don't know the whole situation. I'm not big on colleges. We got comments in the chat. Oh yeah, we got like a some type of bot in there, and then we also have Graham says "Go Army, beat Navy." I'm deleting the bot in there. Jesus Christ.
I agree with you, Graham. We'll get to that game later on, but go Army.
Yeah, we'll get to that game. That's probably gonna be the last thing we're gonna do. Anyways, yeah. What I was gonna say was I don't really know too much about the whole situation and the HBCUs or whatnot, but from my understanding, I mean, they didn't have the stadium and whatnot, and the fields and stuff were not the greatest until
Yep,
Deion Sanders got there, and I think he helped put a lot of money into that college. And everybody that's going against him now, uh, I don't agree with that. I mean, obviously he's going to move on. Maybe he
of course.
shouldn't. He did. There was some like things like that said he said, you know, his calling was to Jackson State or whatever, as far as like, you know, religious stuff. He said his calling was to God. God brought him to Jackson State. I'm not quoting him. Supposedly something like
Yeah.
that. Maybe he shouldn't have said it like that. I'm not sure if that's exactly what he said. I did hear some stuff like that. Like I said, I don't follow it too much. But if he said it something like that, maybe he shouldn't have said it like that. But because obviously, eventually, he was going to move on. His goal is to be, one of the. Okay, someone's calling you. One of the coaches in, a Power Five conference. So yeah, so eventually that was going to happen. But anyways, yeah, Preston's going to be joining us shortly. He just said that. But let's get into some other stuff here. Josh did talk. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say we can talk about the transfer portal a little bit.
Go ahead. Go for it.
I wrote down a couple big names in my opinion that's going to the transfer portal. I know Graham, you're still in here. I know we talked about Jaheim Bell, their tight end for South Carolina. Also played a little bit of running back, transferring. That's a big boy. That's a big unit. I would love for us to pick him up because our backup tight end, he just declared to the
Florida's
portal.
always been known for having a good tight end
Yeah.
too. So I mean,
But like Graham also said, he probably won't even stay in the SEC. JT Daniels transferring for the third time. I mean that is ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, I'd want to see where he goes. I don't know. I don't know too much about it. I know that first game, me and Graham was talking about it the other day. The first game we saw, he played on Thursday night. I think it was the first college football game. He actually didn't look half bad. And then
Yeah.
I didn't watch much West Virginia, but I don't know how much he played since then. I don't know if he got benched or hurt or what happened. But yeah.
Also, I brought down Mike Wright from Vandy. He's transferring freshman. He's got a lot of potential, I believe.
Jesus Christ. Hold on, time out. You keep talking about your transporter. What is this that just joined? Holy shit. Preston is here with his Rudolph the goddamn red-nosed reindeer. All right. Is that what you got to wear to work every day?
No, I just wanted to wear it for tonight.
All right, cool.
Wow.
All right. So Bryson's talking about the transfer portal right now. We'll go to Preston in just a second. But keep going, Bryce. What were you saying?
I was saying Mike Wright from Vandy, freshman, huge potential. Chris, I don't know if your boy's going in the transfer portal. I know you're a big fan of him. Spencer Sanders, quarterback from Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
He's entering. Another one I like today is Trey Harris from Louisiana Tech. That would be awesome pick. I would love to try to go after him. And then Graham said it before. Jeff Sims, Georgia Tech's quarterback, he's transferring. This is just crazy. I mean, I've never seen a trend.
Graham says in the chat, he says Cristobal has Jaheim Bell, either UGA or Ole Miss.
Man, if he goes to Georgia, I mean, wow, that's good. God, great pickup for y'all. If y'all
He also says Clemson fan would wear that. Okay. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, AR, he's going to the draft, and I'm pretty sure you hear about Jalen Kenta, our backup quarterback, what he went to jail for.
Yeah.
Child pornography. So
yeah.
Good job there. They said it was off the laptop that Cam Newton stole. It's okay, you can laugh. That was a funny joke. Don't lie.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean that's just horrible.
Preston.
I mean,
keep going. What were you saying?
That's okay. I mean, if you want me to
I
stop.
was just gonna go to Preston. Preston, thoughts on anything about the transfer portal? I know DJ's transferring, but word on the street, people are telling him to go get a CDL now and quit college football. I mean, any thoughts on the transfer portal? Everybody transferring?
Well, first, I got a quick thought on what people are giving DJ a hard time. I didn't know there were so many Division I athletes out there. I mean, DJ had a hard time at Clemson. He didn't play well. He didn't look well. He never did. He had like 3 good games his entire career at Clemson. But he was a great teammate on the sidelines. He supported everybody, and he was one of the first people to celebrate Cade when he,
Did Shipley hit the portal also?
No, he's probably talking about Maffa. I didn't hear anything about the running back, but I'm assuming it was probably Maffa. But DJ did his best for Clemson, so that's what I got to say about that. Wish him nothing but the best wherever he goes. He's probably going out west, probably Oregon State or something like that. But the portal, there were so many players that hit it. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, there's almost about 1,000, if not over 1,000 players.
What'd
that
you say,
Brian?
Bryce?
1,200 entered the first day.
Yeah, so there's the only problem I have with that is if you don't go to another school, you pretty much have to be accepted back to your other school that you just left. And depending on what the reason why you left, they might not bring you back because if there's 1,200, people in the portal, there's only so many spots that they can be available somewhere they go. So they could just walk on to another school. Kobe Pace.
Yeah, he said Pace, not Shipley. Kobe Pace. Yeah.
Well, not Shipley. Of course not Shipley. He's one of the best running backs in the nation.
Yeah, I was just wondering. That's the running back I know. I know you guys know more players than I do. I just thought if it was Shipley, that'd be huge. I mean, that'd been crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, my only problem with it is there's so many people in the portal that, I mean, you're going to have schools like Deion Sanders in Colorado. I feel like they're about to rack up.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that? We were talking about that before you came on as well. Any thoughts on Deion going to Colorado, to build them back up? Or
Yeah, he's a very, very smart man. When USC and UCLA leave for the Big Ten, there's going to be nobody in the Pac-12 that's going to give him a hard time except for Oregon, and he's going to get all these players transferring into his school. So he's going to be a juggernaut over there on the West Coast. So
one more thing is, I mean, people don't understand. I mean, this new playoff thing, it's going to keep people from going to these Alabamas and Georgias because they realize more teams.
You don't have to win. You don't have to
go there to get in. So I mean, and Deion's probably just going to get that many more players just because of the name recognition, and he's the coach, and they realize I know Colorado went 1 and whatever, but they were not a bad team, just a few years ago. If I'm not mistaken, they weren't that bad.
And I had one thing because you brought up the playoff and it expanding. I thought about this more, and I've always been, I don't like the playoffs expanding. I think it's bad for college football. The regular season doesn't mean as much. Excuse me. But the more I thought about it, I like the playoffs expanding, and this is not because Clemson's missed the last 2. I like it for the reason that – okay, this is annoying me. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Take it off.
When I put it on, I must have put it on upside down, the speaker itself. But I actually think it strengthens the regular season. And then let me explain what I mean by that real quick. Now, Clemson has had 2 bad seasons. They had a 3-loss season and a 2-loss season. 10 years ago, 10-2 and a trip to the Orange Bowl and an ACC championship game, that's top 7. That's a great season because only 2 people played for the national championship game. After you lost your second game, your season was over with, and you were going to lose your at-large bid or you're going to lose your New Year's Day 6 Bowl. I think now, opening it up, I think you're still going to have to run into the same issue where you're going to have only 2 or 3 teams at the max that can compete for a national championship, just like I think there's only 2 this year that can compete for a national championship. I think, though, a Clemson team or an Alabama team, yeah, they're not going to win their conference, what Clemson did, but normally at 2 losses, you wouldn't win a conference in a really highly competitive league or division. Now, after you've got that second loss, maybe you're in week 8 or something like that, you win out, you're still looking really good, 10-2 with a chance to go win your division or your conference. I think it strengthens, it allows them to play for something more at the end of the season. And I mean, it was something that I've recently changed on, and I might change back on it again, but I actually like the expansion. I think it might actually, do the opposite of what we're all thinking about weakening the regular season and strengthen it.
Oof. I don't know what's going on back there, but anyway. And also, I mean, everyone talks about the SEC and stuff. I'm muting you for 2 seconds. You're good. I don't want to hear that. But anyway, you can comment on this in just a second. But what I was saying, it also, I mean, obviously, depending on what happens, Clemson should get in the play. Clemson has no reason not to get in the playoff every year now. I mean, they should win. But it may strengthen some of these other ACC schools and stuff like that as well, because more teams are wanting to go there and whatnot. Maybe it makes the SEC not as strong, I guess. Maybe it makes more conferences, stronger. So, I mean, I personally like it. I know a lot of people don't like it. I don't know. But that's just me. You guys are bigger college football guys than me, but that's me, my understanding of it. Bryson, what are you doing?
I was reading an ESPN notification.
Okay. Anyway, let's recap some games a little bit. I don't know if you're still going on over there.
No, it's good.
Okay. Gonna unmute you here. Well, I unmuted you. I don't know what I'm talking about. I was reading something. Anyway, let's get into recap some games just real quick. We had Georgia win the SEC championship 50-30. Clemson wins, obviously. New quarterback change. Klubnik comes in, plays very well, only a few incomplete passes. What's you shaking your head for?
Klubnik,
whatever the fuck his name is. It don't matter. They're going to the damn Orange Bowl. Who cares?
Yes.
Anyway, Utah beat USC. Obviously, that was a while ago. It takes USC out. Ohio State getting in. Bama not getting in. Obviously. Any thoughts, and obviously TCU falling to Kansas State. Duggan giving all he can, but TCU still getting in. Bryson, what's your thoughts on any of those games or anything, going on as far as
I mean, Duggan wears his heart on his sleeve. I mean, when he scored that touchdown at the very end, I mean, he was out of breath. He could barely stand. I mean, that is a true heart. That is a true Heisman right there. He played a hell of a game, even though they fell short. I mean, Georgia, I like how Kirby went for two to say that he'd
I can read him, Bryce. You're good. Keep going.
Sorry.
Graham says, bro, crushing a Red Bull at 9:30. He was talking about Preston. Keep going.
Kirby going for two, just say, hey, guess what? I put 50 on LSU. I love that. That Utah USC game, great game. I mean, Cameron Rising, hell of a game. Ohio State sneaking in. I like that.
You're one of those guys that Bama thought got in. Even Josh didn't think it, and I'll say it like this. I mean, no, I mean, even if you're looking at the four best teams, I don't think you put Bama in, but it depends, I don't know. I mean, they say it's the four best teams. I'm guessing TCU gets that 4 spot. Obviously, to me, just because Bama wasn't as good this year, in my opinion. But Preston, any thoughts on those games this weekend or the playoffs coming up?
Definitely. I think one of the things that I was really interested in seeing was USC falling to Utah, like Bryson was saying. And the fact that you look at Caleb Williams, everything posted on social media with his F Utah on his hand, and then they go and lose their second game to them this season. I believe either 4 out of 5. I think 4 of the last 5 losses when they were up by double digits at one point were losses to Utah. Utah just seems like they have USC's number. Their defense is atrocious. A lot of that reasons were tackling that they weren't unable to stop Utah. But Cam Rising, like Bryce said, man, he took licks and he kept getting up and kept playing. It was funny because at the end of the postgame, I don't know if y'all saw it, when they asked him about what he thought about Caleb Williams having it on his hand, he's like,
I don't give a shit.
He's like, that's cute. I don't really care. I mean, how'd that work out for you? So, I mean, Caleb Williams crying on the sideline. He goes to USC to get the easy way into the playoffs. And then how fitting was it that they got knocked out? They were in, too, and all they had to do was win, and they had a double-digit loss or victory. Right. They were up by double digits.
I will say I was almost 2 for 3 in my somewhat bold prediction. I had had USC going to the playoff and had Oklahoma not being ranked at the end of the season. I was right on one of them at least.
Yeah. So it was really good. And then the Georgia game, I mean, that was as expected. The Clemson game, I'll talk about it for just a second just because I'm a Clemson fan. I mean, thank God they finally replaced DJ with Cade. Dabo said that he wanted to do it in Notre Dame, but Cade wasn't ready, but he didn't give him a real shot. The offense exploded. They looked different with a different play caller behind there, so that was good. So hopefully they have a chance versus Tennessee. What other was the other game? TCU.
He's got to. I don't want to. I'm sorry to cut you off, but he's got a good chance. He's going against two of the worst defenses in college football. So I mean, I mean that's a good spot to put him in at. I mean, you're going against two weak defenses. So
yeah. And the last thing I'll say is TCU, that last call in overtime. Josh texted us in the group chat and said you kicked the field goal there. I think yes, I agree. You kicked the field goal there. But I think in the back of my mind, he knew, or Sonny Dykes knew, that they were in the playoffs really no matter what at that point after USC lost. So he's really just playing for the win. A 3-point loss in overtime doesn't kill you. So that was one of those things where it's like, I understand why you go for it on that 1-inch line. Getting stopped sucks. They don't get to possibly go 15-0, but I mean, it's hard to blame them for trying to go, because say if they get the field goal, and on the very first play of the next drive for Kansas State, they throw a 25-yard touchdown dot, and the game's over, and you lose because you kicked a field goal instead of going for it and possibly getting it. So it's a double-edged sword there. So I get what he goes, but I kind of like that he trusted his players enough to actually go for it and try to get that win. So that's one of those things. I think TCU still deserved it, no matter what, win or loss, to get in the playoffs. So I think the committee got it right.
Gotcha. All right. Before we get into the couple other things, since we already just mentioned some of the games, does anybody have a player of the week for the week? I wrote mine down.
Yes, I do.
I went to Tulane. I went to Michael Pratt, quarterback. He went 20 for 33, 394 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 48 yards rushing, and 1 touchdown to get the win. I believe UCF, correct? I wrote it down. I believe they
Yes.
over UCF. I didn't catch too much of the game, to be honest. I was too much hype for the Georgia game and watched the Michigan game and what was the other early game I watched. But anyway, I'm going with Michael Pratt from Tulane, and Tulane ranked almost inside the top. Well, I think they're in the top 12. Going to get it. Got a good bowl game coming up. So, Bryson, who you got?
Well, Chris, I'm going to go to the same school as you. I'm going with Tulane, going with the running back. Tajee Spears, 22 carries, 199 yards, and 1 touchdown. I mean, man was toting the ball.
Gotcha.
So,
Preston,
I mean, yeah.
Preston, did you have a player of the week on hand?
Yeah, quickly, I just looked and glanced, and I guess I'm going to have to go with Donovan Edwards. I say I have to go with him. The guy had 25 carries and 185 yards versus Purdue in the Big Ten championship game, and he had a touchdown. If I'm not mistaken, he's had a couple really big games in a row, so that's pretty nice for him to be able to continue to get on with that momentum.
Gotcha. And I almost went with your quarterback there, the quarterback that came in. I think he went
started
like
out like 11 straight passes or something like that.
I think he went like 22 for 24 or something, or 29 or something like that. I mean, he played well. I know he's not playing a good team, but to come in, and win a dominant game or dominate the game.
Can you give me like 10 seconds? I need to clock out real quick.
Go for it. But yeah, to come in and dominate the game, that's pretty huge. Yeah, but let's keep it going here. Not many other games I wanted to mention. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it feels like it was so long ago. But anyway, the Heisman finalists came out. Bryson, I know you're very aware the Heisman finalists came out. Some surprises, some not so surprises. You had Caleb Williams, obviously, getting in from USC. You had Max Duggan, TCU. You had C.J. Stroud, Ohio State. And then you had quarterback, University of Georgia, Stetson Bennett, getting in the Heisman conversation. Bryson, do you think Bennett should have got that 4th spot, or what do you think at the Heisman?
I don't think so, in my opinion. I mean, I think he got there because, I mean, y'all's team, I mean, it's 12-0. I'm sorry, 13-0. I mean, he's having a good season, but he is not having an outstanding season, in my opinion. I think Benji Robinson, I mean, Texas running back, should be in that conversation, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, after this past weekend, I mean, Max Duggan, I mean, good God, I mean, this is the way he played, and the 2 nights later he's crushing the Coors Light at a basketball game. I mean, what a guy, So I became a big fan over him over the weekend. Just how much pride and heart he plays with. I mean, that's a hell of a game. Putting that team on your shoulder, can hardly walk, but still try to get the job done. But yeah.
Yeah, Josh says in the chat, or not Josh, sorry, Graham. Graham says in the chat they screwed Hendon Hooker, which he did get hurt, but I mean, it was late in the season. Also, Blake Corum, I mean, he was a big talk at Michigan to get in. I thought he only got hurt, that second to the last game was a big talk to get in. Also, Drake May, even though he struggled those last couple games,
Yep.
could have got in. Preston, what's your thoughts on the Heisman finalists?
I mean, if we didn't already think it, we definitely think it now. It's a quarterback award. It's going to be almost impossible for really anybody not named a quarterback to win this award going forward. I mean, 4 quarterbacks, I heard y'all talking about Stetson Bennett. I understand why he's in the Heisman, but I mean, I don't know. I think there's other players deserving. Like you said, Blake Corum. I think Brock Bowers, possibly one of the greatest tight ends this season. Notre Dame's tight end. You had some really, strong.
I think Hooker. I'm with John. I'm with Graham. I think I would have probably gave it the last spot probably to Hooker. But
I mean, you get those South Carolina's punter in there. I mean, fucking Mr. Boot.
But I mean, one thing I will say, someone did. I mean, don't think Bennett should have been the 4th spot. I don't think he'll win it, but he did have. I think there was a stats that came out. He did have the most yards and stuff. I don't know if it was against ranked opponents and touchdowns or whatever. I guess something like that. I don't know. Something came out and it showed the list of Heisman and stuff like that, or top quarterbacks, and he was right up there. But I mean, whatever. I don't think he's going to win personally. I think they'll probably. Do you guys have any predictions who they're going to give it to? Or I think Caleb Williams, maybe.
Either him or Stroud.
Stroud. Bryson, you said Stroud, correct? Did you say what you
said? I agree with Preston here. Either Caleb Williams or C.J. Stroud.
I would love to see Duggan win it.
I want to win. I want to see Duggan win it. I mean,
I would love to see Bennett win it, obviously, but I don't think he should win it. I don't think so. Anyway, let's keep it going here. Get into the. Obviously, we said Josh won the regular season champion. I had that written down. Preston, me and you tied for last, so I did not come in last. Thank God. Yeah.
It took me to go 0-8 for you to tie me.
Hey, since you went 0-8, we'll just go ahead and give you that last place spot by yourself.
No, because I had also the best week and I had the worst week within a 2-week span. I went like 6-8 and 0-8. That's just ridiculous.
Gotcha. What do you guys want to do first? You guys want to talk about some of our favorite bowl games? You want to talk about the Navy? Okay, we'll do our favorite bowl games, and then we'll end it on Army versus Navy. Bowl games coming up. Obviously, we got the 4 guys in the playoffs. We got Georgia versus Ohio State in the Peach Bowl, Michigan versus TCU in the Fiesta Bowl in the playoff games. Bryson, any favorite games for you out there? Coming up.
Yes, and I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I got this one at my number 1 list right now. It's called I Can't Beat South Carolina Bowl, Tennessee and Clemson. I mean, that to me is going to be a game. I just don't know why. I just feel like this. I mean, I feel like it's going to be at the A&M and LSU game in 2014 or 15. I mean, I just think it's going to be one of those games. Florida that we got in somehow. This is horrible season for us.
Not a bad game though.
Yeah. Florida and Oregon State.
Oregon State's been good.
You just want to go through my list right quick? I got
just mention some games.
I got the Ticket Smarter Bowl, Coastal Carolina, East Carolina. I think that's going to be a great one. The Alamo Bowl, Texas, Washington. How about this one for a name? Tony the Tiger, Pitt and UCLA.
I mean,
what
I didn't see that one.
Can you ask for? Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a bowl. Hell of a bowl name.
I'd much rather go to that than the Cheez-It Bowl. So,
shout out to my boy Graham right here, the Tax Slayer, Notre Dame, Carolina. I mean, I think Carolina can win it. I mean, they are in the hot seat. Beamer Ball's alive.
That was up there for me. That one is up there for me. Notre Dame, South Carolina, and the Gator Bowl, I believe.
The Tax Slayer.
Okay,
that's the Clemson Daddy Bowl. Yeah.
You sure it's Tax Slayer Bowl? I could have swore it was Gator Bowl.
It's the Tax Slayer Bowl.
Okay.
It's the Gator Tax Slayer Bowl.
Oh, Gator
and
Tax
then,
Slayer Bowl.
Yeah, it's like both.
Then I got 2 more. I put the All-State Bowl, Bama and Kansas State. And then for the last one, I did the Rose Bowl, Penn State, and Utah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Some of those games we do have some players sitting out. I was going to mention, obviously, Meyer from Notre Dame's not going to play for Carolina. I believe he declared for the draft.
Yep.
Anthony Richardson he declared for the draft as well.
Declaring, yeah.
Declared
So
for
we'll
the
have
draft.
Jack Miller, a freshman, he's starting for us because somebody decided to watch some videos.
Uh, Gotcha. Kansas State and Alabama. I know Kansas State. Obviously, I believe they have a lot of injuries from what I was watching against TCU. I mean, they had a lot of players go down. And I think they had players go down before that. So Bama, playing there. I don't know if anybody else is sitting out over there. And Utah or Penn State's cornerback. He's supposed to be a top 20 pick. Declared for the draft. Joey Porter Jr. declaring for the draft, and Tavion Thomas for Utah, declaring for the draft as well. Preston, what any of your favorite games out there for? Obviously Clemson and why am I blank? Tennessee is going to be a good game. Going to be a good game. What's some games for you out there you're looking forward to?
I like the South Carolina State championship game or the Who's Your Daddy Bowl. Notre Dame and South Carolina, both the teams that beat Clemson, getting to meet up in the Jacksonville. My buddy actually works at TaxSlayer, and they allow them to.
I used to work there.
They allow them to get free tickets to the game. So, I could go to that game, but I think for my pride, I'm going to stay away from it. But yeah, there's a couple good, really good bowl games. I mean, honestly, the ones he picked are right up there with me. I mean, I really like all of those. If I'm not mistaken, isn't it the Louisville and what other game? I think the coach is leaving Louisville to go to the
Louisville, Cincinnati, I think.
Yeah, isn't he leaving Louisville to go to Cincinnati? So it's like where do you stand?
Question.
Do you just not go to the game? Do you stay home?
Yeah, he just mentioned. Graham actually just on time. He said, "How about Cincy, Louisville, Scatterville leaving you Louisville to coach Cincy next year?" That's actually pretty exciting. I did not know that. Preston was just talking about that. Yeah, didn't know too much.
Yeah, it's like, do you just not go to the game? Do you just stay home? Like what? I don't know what that one is.
I don't know. That's weird. Yeah, that's got to be. It's definitely got to be weird. Probably be a boring game too. Aren't those two defensive teams? I'm guessing. I think anyway. I know
Louisville. If Cunningham's playing, if Cunningham's healthy, they've got a chance to be pretty good. I'm not really. I didn't see a lot of Cincinnati games this year.
Also, Notre Dame, South Carolina. I mentioned that. Is that two new coaches going at each other? Is South Carolina? He's not a new coach. Is he? Okay.
Beamer was a coach last year and won the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Okay. And this is Marcus Freeman's first year. Yeah, I didn't know. His first game last year was the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if the Carolina coach was new. He said, Graham says, and they have to share the same sideline because they play at Fenway.
Interesting.
So
fight.
All right. We're gonna see the what's his name? Michigan coach Howard, Juwan Howard. The right hook. Yeah, I remember seeing that. Anyway, but very exciting games. We are going to do the bowl pickups here next week with Josh. Josh will be here next week. Unless there's any other games you guys want to talk about here. One thing I want to mention before we keep it going: Ohio State or Georgia only favored by 6.5 against Ohio State. I'm kind of worried about that. I know I looked at the lines a little early. That kind of makes me feel like this is going to be a hell of a game. I mean, I thought it was going to be a hell of a game anyway, but I don't know. Worries me a little bit. You guys have any lean on the playoffs before, strong leans?
Yeah, me and Graham, we were driving the other day, and we were talking about the lines. I say that 6.5, and he looked at me like I was fucking crazy. I mean, he was mind blown. And like I told you, I said Vegas knows something we don't know. I guess.
It makes you almost want to pick Ohio State. Really,
it makes you think like what can really going on can really happen. That's who I wanted. That's who I predicted in the championship this year was Ohio State and Georgia. So I mean, get to see that game no matter what. TCU, Michigan. I
Oh, no,
mean,
time
Michigan.
out. When did you predict that? Because how in the hell did you predict that if you had Alabama going undefeated?
That's why I say I wanted to see Georgia
Yeah,
and
okay.
Alabama.
Gotcha. Okay.
Ohio
Georgia.
State.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead.
Damn, what was
I threw him off. I threw him for a loop.
Oh yeah, Michigan, TCU. I mean, Michigan is just playing some good football right now. JJ McCarthy. I mean, he's looking good.
Hey, don't sleep on that game. I'm telling you right now. Michigan. The thing about Michigan is they beat teams down the second half, but I don't think TCU's gonna have enough. But Duggan said he's giving it everything he's got. He was crying. He said if they get in, he said he's giving it everything he's got, and I'm hoping they do. I'm hoping TCU can somehow, not for Georgia's sake. I like Kid. I'm hoping they somehow pull it out. Preston, I mean, do you have any lean before we get into Army Navy?
I was talking with a guy at work today, and I was looking at the over/under and the spread of the game. Like you said, Georgia minus 6.5, and the over/under on that game, I believe, is like 51.5. I definitely said that I believe that I think both teams can put up a little bit of points. I think Georgia's defense is going to eventually put the stranglehold on them and be able to slow them down pretty good. I think it's going to take a quarter and a half for Georgia to really kind of figure out what the exact game plan is for Ohio State. And then in that time period, I think Ohio State will put points up. But with Ohio State being without Chris Olave, who they've been without, I think, the last 2 weeks of the regular season, or maybe he played a little bit, but I'm not 100% sure. That's a large part of their offense. He's one of the best receivers in this class, really. So I think they're going to get him a little bit in the beginning, but I think Georgia's going to eventually hold the strangle. So I definitely think that I will take the over in that game, and I'm going to take Georgia to pull it out late to cover the 6.5. And then the same thing with Michigan. I think the over/under in that game, I think it's like 51.5. I just don't see TCU scoring any. I mean, they got one good receiver. Number one, I don't know his name, but
he's been hurt.
He's been hurt, but he's big. So I mean, that injury. I mean, he's going to have 3.5 weeks to really kind of heal up for that. But I think Michigan silently has the best defense this year. They play some really physical ball too, and I think that's going to really stop TCU from being able to score anything. Really, it's going to be a lot of field goals and a lot of 4th and 5s they're going to have to go for to move the ball consistently. So I think I'm going to go with the under on that one, and I'm going to also take Michigan to cover. So I'm going to take both the favorites to cover. I'm going to take the over in the Georgia game, and I think I'm going to take the under in the Michigan game. I think they're going to be able to really limit the points, and they're going to make the run game the piece de resistance.
Who said Olave? Somebody, he says Olave plays for the Saints.
Olave or whoever the guy's name is.
Olave. You talking about the other receiver? Yeah. I
can't remember his name. I don't know why Olave is what game.
There's Marvin Harrison and there's Njigba or something. What is
yes, Njigba.
Yeah, that's what Josh was. That's what he was saying. He was saying he was not playing. That's what he's saying.
I'll tell you what, Georgia needs to step up on to face Ohio State is y'all secondary. I mean, y'all secondary is not the greatest this year.
Our pass defense is pretty good.
I think if you're going to beat Georgia, I think you got to air it out deep. I mean, once you get past the secondary, to me, in my opinion, you're kind of weak in that area. I mean, if y'all secondary step up, y'all should have no problem beating Ohio State, in my opinion.
Disagree. I think you got to. Me personally, I think we got some good corners from watching and know what I saw. I mean, where Missouri got us is blitzing the quarterback and running the football. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe obviously Ohio State's going to air it out anyway. So I don't know. We'll see when we get there. But let's get into the final thing here. One of the final things. We got Army versus Navy this week. Graham is going to be going to that game. I know Graham's in the chat. He will be going to that game from what I understand. If hopefully he wanted me to say that. Hopefully not. Anyway, he's excited to go to that game. Bryson said anyway. But Bryson, Army versus Navy. Do you catch this game every year or – I'm gonna be honest with you. Before you speak, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't watch it every year. I've called it. It's probably bad, but I haven't watched in the last couple of years. But do you catch it every year or?
I mean, most of the time, me and my dad. I don't know why this is. We just always get together and watch that game every year. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to say go Army, beat Navy. I think Army wins this one.
So Bryson's taking Army. Army versus Navy. Preston, do you always catch this game, or any thoughts on Army versus Navy coming up this weekend?
Yeah, no, I typically am always watching this game really because it's really the only game that's on.
Yeah.
But I've always just really watched it. I've always really enjoyed watching it because I don't know. I kind of feel really American when I watch this game just because I get to see, for 60 minutes, they're going against each other and it's the toughest game of the year for them. But at the end of the game, they're all on the same team, fighting for one thing. But my brother is in the Navy. He was deployed. He was out in the ocean. Now he's back on land. So that definitely is going to weigh into my kind of pick. But I've always picked Navy. I've kind of always liked them. So I'm going to take Navy.
Yeah, Graham says Army by 1 million. That's what he said a minute ago. Yeah, so Preston's taking Navy. This is not towards records or anything. By the way, before I'm speaking of that, I do have to make the bowl pick'em. Graham, I don't know if you're still in here or anybody. If you guys want to join the bowl pick'em on ESPN,
yeah, I told him about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna post it. I'll send it out and do it, and anybody can join. It's just gonna be for free, I guess. Unless I'm guessing it'll just be for free and fun, and we'll post.
I'm fine with throwing some money in there, cash apping somebody, or this and that.
For records. I don't know. I mean,
you scared?
Maybe, but I'm not scared.
Put your money where your mouth is, Chris.
I'm the champion.
Finished last, Preston.
I'm not the champion. I'm not the champion. I just don't think everybody gambles like that. So if I want to get more people, I think just maybe do it for fun. Post the names.
Did y'all hear that?
What's that?
0-8.
Yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, but yeah, and I'm the bowl champion from last year, and I didn't even pick last year, and I still came in as the one-timer and beat everybody. So just saying, I actually won money against you last year for the ballsy pick of Georgia -7 on the show. So just remember that against Michigan. Against Michigan, when you said you'd bet your left kidney, I have it. Hey, I have it on video. You said
come on me or him?
Against you said you would bet your left kidney that
did I pay you?
That Michigan. Yes, you did. You did pay me. I got the receipts.
I don't even remember what this is.
You're bullshitting.
I swear to God.
You said you'd bet your left kidney that Georgia can't beat Michigan.
I think you're talking about some other
That's after Georgia.
Guy.
No, bullshit. That was after Georgia came off the loss to Alabama. And I told
you
Georgia's still going to win the national championship.
I think this is the same guy that said Cincinnati's going to the college football championship, if I'm not mistaken.
Hey, I said they're going to the playoff. I never said no championship.
He said playoff.
And I was right about that, so don't give me shit about that.
What did he say? Right. He says
the U.S.
Oh, sorry. I'm a dumbass. I'm pretty slow.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, I had some stuff before the game. Like I said, I'm not a big, I'm going to watch the game this year. But I'm going by stats because I haven't. So from my stats, I said these teams have played 120 games. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. Navy has won 61 games and Army's won 52. So it's pretty close from my understanding, from what I've seen. And there's 7 tied games. I don't know how that works in college football. Maybe that's been in the past.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it must have been a long time ago. Navy won 17-13 last year. Navy's going into this game 4-7. Army's going into this game 5-6. Navy's got some big wins. They won over UCF recently, I believe, and they lost against Notre Dame. I think that was a close game. Close game, 35-32, I believe.
That was the week after they beat Clemson.
And East Carolina. They beat East Carolina. East Carolina's not great, but they're somewhat okay. Army's big win, not really. I mean, they beat UConn, lost 10-9 over ranked Troy. Troy is ranked at number 23, I believe. Still, I'm not sure, but. Yeah, and going off stat, I think that's why I'm going to go with Navy. Navy's played some bigger games, and they've had some closer games. So I think I just got to take Navy. Don't really know too much about them. I don't know if you guys know many players on the team. But Graham might know some players or whatnot. But got to go with Navy. So it's going to be 2v2, me and Preston versus you and Graham, I guess. Navy versus Army.
We are so
yeah, but we'll be back for the bowl games next week. To do our predictions and the playoff predictions as well. I'm guessing it'll be next week. Is the first bowl games next week, or do we have a while?
I'll tell you right now.
I think we got some coming up on the 14th.
I think they're all – yeah, the very first bowl game is December 16th. And
Okay,
it's
so
at
that's
11:30. It's hometown Lenders Bahamas Bowl, and that's Miami of Ohio versus UAB.
So that's
That
next
should be a
week.
barn burner.
That's next week. Okay.
10 days from now. 9
Yeah.
days from now.
Yeah, well, I'm saying we'll just do them. We'll probably just end up doing them next week anyway. We'll just plan for next week, even though if it's ahead, we'll go ahead and do the
I
bowl
think
pick'ems.
we should probably already go ahead and do the bowls. Like we should already pick our games and just talk about a couple key matchups that we think, unless you want to be on there for 2 hours.
No. Last year we didn't pick all of them. I can't. Bryson said how we did it last year. I think we just talked about some of the best games, but we'll pick all the games, I believe.
I think we should pick 10 games, and out of those 10 games, 1 being the most confident, and the 10 not being.
I hate that structure, man. I hate that structure.
We'll figure it out. We'll talk about it.
We'll figure it out.
We'll
But,
talk.
I know what you're talking about.
We'll probably end up just talking about 10 games or so and picking our picks for those. But we do have our picks for each one. We'll have our picks for each one. Maybe I'll put them on the screen or something. I can add another screen and put our picks up or whatnot. But yeah, I think that's going to do it. Make sure you check out the NFL show we did yesterday. We are going to go, me and Bryson, hopefully going live here shortly. We haven't told Preston. We're talking about bringing back the simulations for Madden and college football. If you guys are interested, we used to simulate football games and do bets or something like that, or maybe even do a dynasty, something with the video game while football season's over, and we are going to go live for some bowl games hopefully. So go live for 1 or 2 games. But yeah, appreciate you watching. Peace.
Spurs up, Carolina.
I can't escape it. I just can't escape it.
Yeah.
So never.
Graham, if you're still on here, we're about to end the broadcast. If you did join, we were just recording for our podcast. I got to get used to being live and doing that. But, yeah, I'm about to end it. Thanks for joining. See you later.
See you later.
See you later. Anything else you want to say?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, man.